Hello there guys and welcome back to BTA Bite Size episode 4. In today's episode we are going to be going over the Argo and just showing you what's what and what's where. So first off, obviously after you've hit your confirmation screen on your character correction screen, you will be greeting with this. So war is business, war is never changes, welcome to the inner sphere, you are a mercenary standing on the edge of your Star League vintage dropship, the Argo. Your mech rays have a few choice mechs you've scrounged up and the inner sphere beyond expand before you. So just hit continue and there we go. So first things you want to do is you want to hit the go button and then you get the Merc New subscription. It's 10 C-bills, I wouldn't worry. Then obviously this is one of the other reasons why I say get the heavy metal update, because every playthrough you will be getting this. So you basically get free stuff. So you take the crate and obviously what you get is random, but it should be something fairly decent. So we've got a 40-ton Strider, which is good. We've got some lights, so we've got some support weapons. We've got some ammo. We've actually got an LB-10, which is great. So that is also really handy to have. Again, this is one of the reasons why I told you to get all of the DLC. So now we've got that one. We get a quick description on what that new mech is. I'm pretty sure you always get a mech, but what mech you get obviously varies depending on different factors. So here we are with the Argo. You can't see it because my box is in the way, but in this top left hand corner up here, obviously you've got how many days of your career is remaining. Do not panic. When that reaches 0, your game does not end. It's just basically how you're kind of running, like trying to get max points for the career, but once that hits 0, your game doesn't end. You can just carry on going as long as you like, so don't worry about that. Underneath it, which my video is unfortunately blocking, you have your finances. So the little you have like your report, which is in 29 days. Then you have the amount of money it costs you per month to maintain your group. Then each of these little dits that's underneath it is basically how many months worth of the minimal that the company finance payments you have. So in this case you can't see it, but because I took the 2.5 million starter, I've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, so I've got 10 months basically to play with. Underneath that you have your morale. Obviously that can be changed, that can go up or down, and that can be mitigated with the stuff that you get in the engineering section, which we'll get to later. You then have what your med tech points are and your medical points are, which are directly underneath those. Your mech tech points basically are count towards mech repairs, mechs, how long mech repairs take, how long it takes to build mechs, and swapping out components and stuff like that. Your medical changes how long it takes for an injured pilot to come out of the med bay, basically. So underneath, so first tab we've got here is the Argo. So this will bring you onto this screen. This is where you hit your giant play button in the middle to advance your timeline along by by a day, however long you want to use it. This obviously, if you want to sit there and you want to wait for a specific mech to be repaired, you just hit that and sit there and wait, essentially. Store, self-explanatory. This is where you go to buy your stuff. So you have, and obviously where you sell it as well. So you've got, obviously the different planets have got different options, different money values. Certain things are worth more in certain places. So you have obviously all your buying options. They are split down into your ballistic, laser, missile, support, jump jets, heat, cores, extra, essentially. And obviously you can then go up here and select them into weapons and ammo up there. So everything's fairly self-explanatory. And then obviously you have your selling tab, which you can just basically either select mechs, which we don't have any to sell, or any of the weapons like that. We'll be delving a lot more into a lot of these subsystems later on. This is just to give you a quick overview. Command center, as you remember from over in vanilla, this is where you select all your missions, and it gives you, all the different options and which ones all the different missions are. Again, we'll go into this in more detail. Barracks is again where you go to manage all your pilots. So these are where you get add on all your skill points and everything else. You can customize certain pilots, but a lot of them, they're there. You can't really do anything with it. So obviously the more pilots you have, the more, scrolling up and down there you have. Mech bay. is going to be its whole own thing. It's going to take a lot of explaining. There's a lot of stuff to go through, but short version, this is where you go to maintain, repair, build your mechs, etc., where your storage is. So if you have any mech parts that you want to scrap, you would go to the storage screen, and then you can basically either have all or none, all or the specific ones, and then you'll have the options. Again, I'll be going through all this in vast amounts of detail later on. The engineering is where you take care of your Argo upgrades to your Argo, and as you can see, this is where one of the main differences between Vanilla and Battletech Advanced 3062 actually are. You have the standard power system, structure, drive system, habitat mod upgrades, etc., but you also have these little extra ones in here. So these actually, you can increase the drop size, the drop slots of your of your lances. So you can actually upgrade that to, you start off with 5, you can actually upgrade that to 8. So you can basically take 2 full lances, and you can actually increase your drop tonnage as well. I think each one of these does 50 tons. Yeah, so you can add another, what's that, 250 tons to your drop weight as well. So that is all good, obviously, as well as the expanded weight that you have with the expanded drops. So yeah, so that is basically what this means. Is when you've got all of these maxed out, you can have 8 mechs to be deployed, and you can have a total of 900 tons to drop the 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 900 tons, is that right? 250, or is it 800? It's probably 800. But anyway, we'll get into all of this later on. Navigation, this is where, again, another big change is going to be. We've got, as you can see, we have the full inner sphere map. All the clan stuff is all hiding up, all up there, and then you've obviously got all of the different houses and everything else. This is where you see all the flashpoints and all of that good stuff as well. Oh, and also, before I forget to mention, the you know, you can actually filter which ones that you want to go through. Again, I'll go through this in you know, in its own separate video. So you have command staff, where you can basically just jump through to speak to the different people. But to be honest, you're not really going to ignore that. You don't really need that. Captain quarters, again, this is another quite important one. This is where you go to customize your lance. So you can basically change the name of your company. You can change the, you know, what your logo is, what your insignia is. You can change the color of what your mechs are going to look at. So if you look at the model on there, they all change on that one. This is also where you manage your rep. So these are basically everyone that you can have rep with. You've got your mercenary board up the top, and then you have all of the different houses and clans, etc., that you know, you build you it. So the more you do missions for the company, the particular house, the better your reputation. The more you do missions where you're basically attacking said thing, then your reputation is obviously going to go down. And these are your financial statistics. So these will bring up, this will tell you what your salary costs are, and what your operating costs are, and how much it costs to keep all of the mechs maintained, etc. And this is basically what you would see up in the top left hand corner had my cam not be blocking it. That's all basically in there. So as you can see, we've got 28 days. It costs us 235k a month. There's all the morale and everything else is there. And Memorial is basically where if you've lost any mech pilots and they've died, that will give you the stats for that. Your funds is listed up in the top right hand corner up there, so obviously that's how much money you have. You have the financial report, so any of these is your activity box, so anything that is happening, mech repairs, people in, pilots in med bays are all going to appear in there. You can click on manage tasks and you can move them, like with the mechs. If you've got 3 mechs repaired and you want one sooner than the other, you can just basically move it up and down the list of priority. Down in the bottom right hand corner here, you have the it tells you what pilot you're what planet you're on, and who is basically the controlling faction of said planet. You have your hiring hall, which is where you can go basically to hire your different pilots that you want, and you have another access to your store as well. And then you've kind of got this little thing here, so this is just basically tells you what you're doing with the Argo. So at the moment we're in orbit. If you're moving from one system to another, you'll be in transit. If you're on a dropship, it will come up on dropship. That's it. That is basically a quick overview of everything. Obviously, your options are up in the top right-hand corner with your save and everything else. Now, the game obviously does have autosave. Me, personally, I like to save after every mission just in case, or if you've done anything major, if you've done like a mass rebuild of all your mechs, just to be on the safe side, just save it under a different name, just so if anything happens with the autosave, you're safe and you're done. It will autosave after every mission, but, you know, be warned, sometimes, you know, things can happen and things go wrong, so just do your own save anyway. I hope that's basically explained a quick overview of everything to do with the Argo. Like I said, I will be going in depth a lot more with the other stuff. If you did enjoy the video and you did find it helpful, please don't forget to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. There is a lot more content coming out for this series. And don't forget to come and see me on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. As for me though, guys, I'm done. Have a good one. Stay safe and I'm out. Bye-bye.